Pete Gibson, you are the turnaround guy, the IT fixer. What is that all about?
I go into challenging situations and turn the organizations around. So Alamo National was Chapter 11. Wyndham Hotel Group, they couldn't get an application out the door, not getting a lot of value out of IT. At Bridge Street, small team that didn't understand their data. I mean, the problem was they had 5 central reservation systems, and every time they had to understand a business problem, they would break down 5 minutes later and be arguing about the numbers because they didn't understand ground truth. I went over and ran an IT outsourcing company, and they were profitable, but they weren't growing. And we were able to get them to grow at 30% top line revenue growth year over year. So it's you as, and you and I had a conversation before, but it's an organizational leadership position, and it's just not the technology, it's the application of the technology to improve the business. So, and that's the skill that you need to bring to the table this day and age. And, I laughed one time, and I did a regional podcast for North Carolina where I'm at. And they asked one guy and says, "So what were you doing when the pandemic hit?" He says, "I was trying to get laptops." It's good on you, right? And they asked another guy, "Oh, I was worried about bandwidth. Do we have enough bandwidth for people to work from home and stuff like that?" And I kind of go, "Good on you." And then they asked me and said, "Pete, what were you doing?" I said, "I was trying to save my damn company." And they said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, in the restaurant industry, that's where I was for that company. In the restaurant industry, we sent, just like everybody, we sent everybody home.
Yeah.
Here you were a franchise, organization, and we weren't making a lot of money. In fact, we probably should have been bankrupt. And so what do you do to save the organization? It's not necessarily the technology, but our point of sale person, Lynn Geiger, says, well, if we do X, Y, and Z, I can increase sales through mobile or through third-party delivery. It's like, go do it. And she got a 10% increase in revenue. And if we go do this, we can go do that. So it was the application of the technology to improve the business. And yep, just like a lot of companies, we went down 65% when in March, when the pandemic hit, we sent everybody home. And we all know the streets were empty and stuff like that. But then by the summer, we were only down 35%. And then in the fall in New England, the dining rooms were starting to open back up, limited capacity, 10, 15%, something like that. We were only down 10% year over year. And the reason was all the systems that the IT team put in. Now, we were fortunate that we already had a good head start on it. We were already heading down the path of revenue improvement and things of that nature. But that's what is key. That's what is key in a turnaround situation. And also the other thing is I've got to be the leader to guide your organization through it. So the first time I did a bankruptcy, Alamo National after 9/11, I had a 92% retention rate. I did a second bankruptcy at Advantage Car Rental. I had a 95% retention rate. Here at Fernlington Johnny Rockets, we sold the business. And that fall, we were only down 10%. We were able to sell the business because we were private equity owned. And the thing that was kind of neat, and we also bankrupted the business too, because restaurants are a pretty litigious organization. So we bankrupted it. And the people that didn't go to one of the other businesses that stayed till the end to help me shut down the business, I had 100% retention. And the reason is that you've got to take care of your people, not coddle them. Don't think that wrong, but you got to be open, honest conversations. You got to let them know what's going on. They're adults, they're making decisions. You got to guide them through this period of not knowing what's going on. Same thing when the pandemic hit, right? There were literally people in the organization, not IT, but in other parts of the organization, thinking that the world was going to end. They were going to catch this bug and they were going to die. And so the whole world was getting shaken up for people. So how do you as a leader guide your organization and the rest of the organization through these challenging times? And that's important.